Welcome, everybody. Why Invest Wednesday. Here we are already into March, our 9th episode this year. As always, working on building that YouTube following up. Definitely hop over to YouTube, subscribe, definitely like, comment, share all of the things across Instagram, Facebook. Today, we're just going to talk a little bit about what it is actually like to be a buyer in this market. Kind of inspired by a story that just of one of my clients today. We were in a multiple offer situation, as we always are these days. And this weekend we got second place. We're in the driver's seat until the very last minute, according to the agent. Sorry about that. We'll get you back here. In the driver's seat, according to the agent, until the very last minute. He sends me an email that says, hey, you guys have a great offer. Currently just got an offer a little bit higher than yours and bigger appraisal. They waived the appraisal, and they haven't seen the house yet, though. So, I was super frustrated. We played by the rules. We didn't try and hurry anything along. We were in first base, and then we got kicked out. And I was frustrated, and I sent the agent a text that just said, hey, man, that's brutal. And clients are super, dedicated to it. They want the property, et cetera, et cetera. I said, call me when that contract fails. Well, lo and behold, 2 days later, actually, what's today, Wednesday? Yeah, Why Invest Wednesday. 2 days later, so that was Monday, he calls me and says, hey, everything that you said was going to happen happened. They backed out. Do you want it? And my buyers said, yeah. And so now we are under contract on that house, but it's just brutal. And, that piece, as far as backup offers and things like that, is huge. But it's really about staying the course. As you may have heard, the interest rates finally ticked above, up a little bit last week. Typically they're higher than they have been. So, who knows where they go from here. I'm not a mortgage broker. I don't know what the rates will be, but they're definitely higher, and buyers feel that. So if you're out there and you've been looking and struggling, definitely check back in with that mortgage broker and just make sure you're all on the same page, because your payment's going to be a little bit higher if the interest rate's a little bit higher. You may be looking at houses that aren't even, in your wheelhouse anymore. So definitely reach out as things have changed, and it's taken buyers 3 or 4 or 5 months to get under contract. And if your situation has changed in those months, you may be looking at stuff you can afford. So my first suggestion as a buyer out there, narrow your focus. Make sure that you're looking at things that are possibilities. Really take time with those virtual tours, with those photos. Make sure you're not just wasting your time. And that's huge, because the more houses you look at, the more, drained you feel. And so make sure that the houses you're looking at are actually, contenders and things that you would notice right away walking in, ceiling height, things like that. Make sure you really take a good look at those pictures and make sure you're there. But then after that, just understand that it's a battle. A lot of people call me, they have, $10,000 to put down, and, so on. If we're looking at homes, I'm really encouraging you to save more money, make our offers better. Almost every offer that gets accepted has some sort of appraisal gap, which is money cash to the table that you would need above your down payment if and only if the appraisal doesn't come in at the value that the contract is at. So, having no appraisal gap is brutal right now, but I understand that people sometimes don't have that ability. But over the next 6 months, if you could save those money, while we're still looking, we're still trying to catch these backup offers. We're still doing that. We're still working hard. We are, saving, so that as we go, we're just getting stronger and stronger, because that's a huge part of what we did. My clients have scraped together a bigger appraisal gap, and we didn't have a full appraisal gap, but we had something that was substantial, and we were losing. We lost. They were the people that offered on 40 offer houses, and it all came to fruition today. We're now under contract. Now we have to go through the inspection and things like that. But they were hard-nosed. They battled. They continued to save. And, I was frustrated on Monday. I was mad that the agent did that. As professionals, we know that those sight unseen offers and things, they had all weekend to look at it. What happened is they lost out on a house that they loved. And on Monday afternoon, they just said, okay, well, this one looks okay. Let's put an offer in. Put an offer in. They supposedly did see it on Monday night, but between Monday night and today, they decided that they weren't interested. They didn't want to spend the money on the inspection and backed out, which is my buyer's gain. But I was so frustrated, and they kind of had a different attitude. They're like, yeah, well, we'll just keep doing this. Is kind of where we're at. We have until this day to, find a place, or we're gonna have to start looking to rent, and maybe we consider new builds at that point. But just a great example of somebody who started out with no appraisal gap, saved money, did what they had to do to secure a little bit of an appraisal gap so that we were in the conversation. And once we got in the conversation, we actually found, I believe this is probably the most favorite house that one of them had seen. And now we're under contract on it. So things work out how they're supposed to work out. But just know in this market, you have to have thick skin. You have to continue, let the agent deal with the frustration, the emotion, and the negotiation, and how are we going to, get this? Because that's absolutely the case if you go to backup offers in this time frame. Because then it shifts. All of a sudden, the seller's like panicking, even though they had 10 offers. They're panicking that that their timeline's going to be messed up, and then they just go to the next one. And if you build a relationship, sometimes it's not even like the next highest. We were the highest in this situation, but the agent called me. I didn't blow anything up by, saying anything that I wanted to say to him in that time. And I was just frustrated. I was like, as a professional, we follow the rules, we do this, and then the greed factor takes over. And I did mention that to him. I said, until we control our seller's greed, this is going to be a really tough thing. We played by all the rules. We followed all your guidelines. We understand we're in this situation, but you still shop our offer. You go with something that is, too good to be true. Granted, it came back to us and we're good to go. So just know in this market, it's a little bit different. You have to be ready to act quickly. That's why I say narrow down, do your shopping at home from your computer. Maybe we go see 3, 4, 5 houses that are absolutely positive opportunities. And then we make a plan as to how we're going to attack those. There are different deadlines throughout. So maybe we say, okay, this is the first deadline. How much, if you get this house, are you ready to go? So we put an offer in on that house. We either get it or we don't. Okay. If we don't get it, then we go to the next deadline. Is this worth putting an offer in? That way that we're only seeing, the houses that are absolutely positive possibilities. And then from there, we attack it in, a way that, okay, like eventually in those, sometimes you're not going to like them, which is fine. But in those, you're going to be like, like that first deadline, we're not going to like that one. If we get that one, okay, we have a house, but we'd be upset if we didn't get these other 3. So we take that one out. We kind of manage that and manage our strategy, because if you don't have a strategy and you don't have direction in this market, it's brutal. So know what you're looking at, know how to, take it on the chin, but, be ready to get back up, because backup offers in this market absolutely come to fruition, as my clients found out today. So, and then have lenders that are ready to act. We sent it over to the lender. I was like, okay, we're going to go under contract on this. I called the inspector. I said, hey, pencil us in here. They'll call you if they decide to go with you, but just getting on the radar so that it's smooth after the fact. Because the worst part about buying a house right now is the competing competitive offer piece. So if we can battle through that, understand that we're going to have triumphs, we're going to have, disappointments. Sometimes you write the very best offer you possibly can and you don't even get close because somebody swoops in with cash or, whatever. If it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. But you can't let that, beat you down. And these clients were in a tight spot. Their lease is up. They have to move. They have to have a house. So, but the last thing I want to do is lose people to renting for another year because, they weren't prepared for the market and things like that. So these people battled. They're prepared. We did a lot of time and we just weren't winning. And literally yesterday said, this is what we're going to do. We need to find a rental. We need to find a place to live by March 15th. We can be flexible, and lo and behold, we're under contract today. So deep sigh of relief for them. You could be next. It is still lower interest rates than, mostly we've ever seen. So it's still a great time to buy. It's a terrible time to rent. And it's just time to continue to, lace up those boxing gloves and get in the ring and see what we can do. So hope you guys have a great day. Don't let any of this information scare you away. Definitely follow what I'm doing on the other social media channels, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and we'll keep in touch. Let me know if you have any questions. We'll talk soon. Have a good rest of your Wednesday. Later.